Imagine an Egyptian city brimming with towering temples, gleaming treasures, and statues of gods and pharaohs, a place where cultures from across the ancient world met in a thriving port of trade, religion, and celebration. Now, imagine this city swallowed by the sea, vanishing for over 1,000 years. Thonis, also known as Heracleion, was such a place, flourishing as a bustling port for centuries before disappearing beneath the waves around the 8th century CE. Welcome to Armchair Archaeology. Today, we're diving into the secrets of this ancient metropolis, long thought to be mere legend. But as you'll soon discover, this sunken city was very real, hiding extraordinary stories of ancient Egypt's power, religious life, and economic influence. Stay with us as we reveal how Thonis was rediscovered in an underwater archaeological breakthrough, piece by piece. From towering statues of gods to intricate treasures preserved for centuries, each discovery reveals something remarkable about Thonis's lost world. And here's a mystery for you to ponder. Could Thonis have inspired the legendary tales of Atlantis? Some historians believe so. Stick around to the end for this surprising connection and more insights into lost cities of legend. Before we dive into the depths of Thonis, here's a quick reminder. Over 95% of you watching right now aren't subscribed. If you're fascinated by uncovering history's lost secrets, hit that subscribe button and join us for more. Thonis, known to the Greeks as Heracleion, is a city that existed between myth and reality for centuries. Ancient Greek historians like Herodotus wrote about a thriving Egyptian port called Heracleion, located at the mouth of the Nile. According to these stories, Heracleion was more than just a trading center. It was a gateway to Egypt's treasures, where merchants from all over the Mediterranean gathered. The Greeks believed the city was named after their hero Heracles, or Hercules, as the Romans called him, who was said to have visited the city. Heracleion became a legendary place in Greek storytelling, a city where Greek and Egyptian cultures mingled in trade, worship, and myth. Ancient texts described the grandeur of Heracleion, with its colossal statues, grand temples, and vast wealth. Egyptian inscriptions, temple records, and Greek writings spoke of a bustling port, sacred rituals, and significant religious ceremonies. Yet for all these vivid descriptions, Heracleion's physical location remained unknown for centuries. Thonis was mentioned in inscriptions found in various parts of Egypt, fueling curiosity about its possible existence. However, without actual evidence, Heracleion was eventually viewed by many as a fable, not unlike the myth of Atlantis, a legendary city lost to time. Some scholars and archaeologists remained convinced that Thonis was real, hidden beneath the sea, or buried under layers of earth and sand. The idea of rediscovering it became a tantalizing quest for those interested in ancient Egyptian history. Yet with each failed attempt to locate it, skepticism grew, and Heracleion's status as a lost city seemed more secure. It wasn't until a breakthrough in underwater archaeology in the early 2000s that this legendary city would finally emerge from the depths, proving that Thonis Heracleion was not just a myth, but one of ancient Egypt's most incredible submerged wonders. In the early 2000s, Thonis finally stepped out from the shadows of legend through an incredible underwater discovery. French marine archaeologist Franck Goddio, along with his team, set out to locate Thonis in Abu Qir Bay, Egypt. Relying on ancient texts, local lore, and state-of-the-art technology, Goddio's team used sonar scanning, magnetic sensors, and satellite navigation to survey the seafloor, hunting for traces of this legendary city. After years of painstaking research and exploration, their efforts paid off. In 2000, the team located vast, submerged ruins spread across Abukir Bay, with stone blocks and structures stretching over a large area. Divers were dispatched to investigate, and they soon encountered colossal statues, fragments of temples, and massive stone slabs bearing inscriptions. These remnants were no ordinary ruins. They marked the foundation of a sprawling cityscape that had been preserved for centuries beneath layers of sand and silt. It became clear that Thonis was no mere legend, but a real and tangible city, lost to the sea, yet frozen in time. Piece by piece, Goddio and his team uncovered monumental statues of pharaohs, towering columns, and golden coins inscribed with the names of Egyptian rulers. The scale and beauty of the finds confirmed Thonis as a city of immense importance, serving as Egypt's main port of entry to the Mediterranean. Goddio's discovery not only proved that Thonis existed, but also opened an entire chapter of Egyptian history that had been hidden from view. Imagine the thrill of uncovering a lost city, explorers revealing Thonis's secrets, artifact by artifact, as if peeling back time itself. Want to dive deeper into mysteries like this? Hit subscribe. Thonis was back on the map, and there's no telling what other secrets might still be concealed beneath the waters of Abukir Bay. The rediscovery of Thonis raises a compelling question. How did such a grand city, bustling with life, vanish beneath the waves? Archaeologists and geologists believe that Thonis's location on low-lying, waterlogged land in the Nile Delta made it especially vulnerable to a slow yet steady process called subsidence. In Thonis, this gradual sinking was a constant force as the city's structures pressed down on soft, marshy soil that was naturally prone to compacting and settling over time. Unlike cities built on firmer terrain, Thonis's foundations were affected by the delta's soft ground, which slowly gave way under the weight of its heavy temples, statues, and public buildings. But there was more than just the ground beneath Thonis working against it. The city was also close to the Nile and thus exposed to annual flooding. While the river brought life-giving water, its floods contributed to the soil's saturation and made the ground even more unstable. Flooding would have eroded structures and foundations, weakening them further. For Thonis, being so close to Egypt's main water source was a blessing for trade and agriculture, but ultimately made it more vulnerable to nature's forces. Evidence from Thonis shows that this subsidence was a gradual process spanning centuries. Archaeologists suspect that residents of Thonis made frequent repairs to shore up buildings and even tried to reinforce foundations in areas where the land was sinking fastest. However, this slow descent continued to affect the city year after year. Despite the efforts to maintain their city, the ground beneath Thonis was continuously shifting and settling, creating a precarious balance that would eventually contribute to the city's mysterious fall. But how did Thonis, a once thriving city, come to be buried beneath the waves? To understand, we need to explore the forces that worked against this city over centuries. The submerged remains of Thonis reveal a city of stunning beauty and monumental scale, showcasing the grandeur of its temples and statues that once stood proudly above the water. One of the most striking discoveries was a colossal statue of Hapi, the god of the Nile, representing fertility and abundance. This statue, over 5 meters tall, once towered over the people of Thonis, symbolizing the city's deep connection to the Nile and the life-giving cycles it governed. Today it rests underwater, preserved in the silt as if still guarding the city, a haunting reminder of Thonis's lost grandeur. Nearby, archaeologists discovered the remains of temples dedicated to both Egyptian and Greek gods, emphasizing Thonis's unique role as a cultural crossroads. This wasn't just a city of trade, it was a significant spiritual center where the beliefs and rituals of different civilizations coexisted. Statues of pharaohs, grand columns, and temple fragments bear inscriptions honoring deities from both cultures, illustrating a fascinating blend of Greek and Egyptian influences that was rare for the ancient world. Thonis's architecture and inscriptions reflect the city's identity as a place where reverence for gods and heroes transcended national boundaries. The scale of these structures suggests that Thonis was carefully designed, with broad avenues, impressive public spaces, and intricately decorated temples. Some statues remain partially buried, their carved features visible through layers of sand, creating a ghostly, otherworldly effect that transports us back to an era when Thonis was a thriving, vibrant city. Imagine exploring these ruins, uncovering statues and temples from a time when gods and pharaohs ruled the land. Each piece reveals a fragment of the past, painting a picture of a civilization deeply rooted in religion, artistry, and ritual. A city that once stood as a testament to Egypt's power before vanishing beneath the waves. What do you think it would have been like to walk these ancient streets? Thonis wasn't only a city of temples and spiritual devotion, it was also a bustling trade port that connected Egypt to the Mediterranean world. Positioned strategically at the Nile's mouth, Thonis served as Egypt's first point of contact with traders from Greece, Phoenicia, and other Mediterranean civilizations. The variety of artifacts discovered here, from Greek coins to Phoenician jewelry and pottery from distant lands, paints a vivid picture of a city teeming with merchants, goods, and cultural exchanges. This fusion of cultures is evident in the items unearthed from Thonis's waters. Coins from Greek city-states, delicately crafted jewelry, and ornate pottery from regions as far away as Cyprus show that Thonis was a vital part of a vast trading network. Its position as an economic powerhouse allowed it to thrive, drawing people, goods, and customs from diverse cultures. Inscriptions in both Egyptian and Greek found throughout the ruins reflect a city where multiple languages and traditions coexisted harmoniously. The very architecture of Thonis reflects this blend, with temples and statues that incorporate both Greek and Egyptian styles. Religious and cultural practices were also exchanged here. Thonis's residents honored Egyptian deities like Hapi and Osiris, while Greek gods such as Heracles found a place within the city's temples. The blending of Greek and Egyptian deities and symbols reveals a unique cultural coexistence that flourished in Thonis, as people from different lands shared not just trade, but elements of faith, art, and ritual. The discoveries in Thonis reveal a complex society that welcomed diversity, making it one of the ancient world's earliest examples of a true melting pot. This fusion of ideas and practices made Thonis an extraordinary bridge between cultures, linking Egypt's grandeur with the broader Mediterranean world. Can you imagine the mix of languages, sights, and sounds in such a diverse port? If you're enjoying this look into the vibrant world of Thonis, don't forget to like and subscribe. Thonis reminds us that ancient cities were much more than their architecture. They were centers of dynamic, interconnected communities. Thonis wasn't just a bustling trade hub, it was also a city of profound spiritual significance, where Egyptian and Greek religious practices flourished side by side. Archaeologists have uncovered numerous artifacts that reveal Thonis's strong spiritual roots, including altars, statues, and intricately crafted ceremonial boats. These boats are believed to have been used in rituals dedicated to the god Hapi, whose annual blessing of the Nile's floodwaters brought prosperity to Egypt. The city's people likely gathered in grand ceremonies to honor Hapi, celebrating the life-giving force of the river that sustained their city. But Thonis's spiritual life extended beyond the Nile. Many scholars believe that Thonis was a center for the mysteries of Osiris, an annual festival dedicated to the death and rebirth of Osiris, the god of the afterlife and regeneration. This festival aligned with the flooding of the Nile, symbolizing renewal and fertility. The ceremonies, thought to have taken place on the river itself, likely featured ritual processions, offerings, and reenactments of Osiris's resurrection, connecting the cycles of nature with the promise of eternal life. These rituals would have been a deeply meaningful part of life for Thonis's residents, merging the natural and divine worlds. Interestingly, Thonis was unique in its religious tolerance. Greek gods like Heracles were honored alongside Egyptian deities, creating a rare blend of Greek and Egyptian spiritual beliefs. Archaeologists have found inscriptions dedicated to both Heracles and Osiris, showing how Thonis's residents integrated these divine figures into a shared spiritual landscape. This fusion of religious practices set Thonis apart as a city where faith and cultural exchange went hand in hand. Imagine living in a place where the spiritual life was woven so deeply into everyday life. Thonis's religious traditions weren't just rituals. They were the heartbeat of the city, connecting its people to both their gods and the natural cycles that defined their lives. What do you think it would have been like to walk through a city where Egyptian and Greek gods were honored side by side? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Thonis is a treasure trove of stunning artifacts, with each discovery shedding light on the wealth and sophistication of this lost city. Among the finds are intricately crafted jewelry, elegant amulets, and coins bearing the names and images of rulers from both Egypt and Greece. These luxurious items reflect Thonis's status as a city of wealth and influence, where skilled artisans produced beautiful objects for the city's elite and religious sanctuaries. One of the most remarkable discoveries was a golden tablet believed to be an offering to the gods, bearing inscriptions meant to invoke protection and favor. This tablet, along with other gold items found in Thonis, speaks to the city's devotion to the divine, as well as the affluence that allowed its residents to make such elaborate offerings. Gold, silver, and bronze artifacts found throughout the city reveal a society with access to rare materials and skilled craftsmanship. Gilded statues, delicate bracelets, and elaborate necklaces capture the city's appreciation for beauty and the high value it placed on artistic expression. Beyond these individual treasures, Thonis's relics reveal an active trade network. Coins from Greek city-states, Phoenician jewelry, and ornate pottery from distant regions show the vast reach of Thonis's trading connections. The city wasn't just an economic powerhouse, it was a cultural and commercial bridge between Egypt and the Mediterranean world, a place where ideas and luxuries flowed in from far-flung lands. Excavations continue in Abu Qir Bay, and archaeologists are optimistic that many more treasures lie buried in the sand, waiting to reveal even more about this lost metropolis. Each season brings the potential for new discoveries, adding excitement and mystery to the ongoing story of Thonis. While the grand temples and priceless treasures of Thonis reveal its economic power and spiritual significance, some of the city's most intriguing artifacts are the simpler, everyday objects. Archaeologists have uncovered a variety of household items: combs, pottery, cooking utensils, and even children's toys that provide a window into the lives of Thonis's ordinary residents. These humble relics act as a time capsule, preserving the daily routines and customs of a vibrant community that thrived over 1,000 years ago. Among the most revealing finds is pottery in a range of shapes and styles. Large storage jars held staples like grains and oils, essentials in the Egyptian diet, while smaller vessels contained imported spices and exotic ingredients, reflecting Thonis' position as a major port. Some pottery shows signs of having been repaired multiple times, suggesting that these items were valuable and reused as much as possible, a glimpse into the resourcefulness of Thonis' people. Archaeologists have also uncovered cooking utensils which indicate a varied diet and hint at culinary influences from other cultures brought in by merchants and travelers. Imagine the hands that once held these tools, the families that gathered around these pots. Each item is a personal story preserved by the sea. But these finds are not limited to basic household items. The discovery of small amulets and personal figurines in residential areas shows that spirituality was interwoven with everyday life. People carried symbols of protection and good fortune, likely offering comfort and a sense of security. This merging of the sacred with the ordinary paints a vivid picture of Thonis as a living city where faith, trade, and daily life coexisted seamlessly. Fascinated by the lives of Thonis' residents? Be sure to like and subscribe to explore more ancient stories like this. One of the most haunting aspects of Thonis is the mystery surrounding its sudden disappearance. How did a thriving city filled with bustling markets, grand temples, and extensive trade networks vanish beneath the waves in what seemed like an instant? While it's clear that Thonis was slowly sinking due to subsidence, researchers believe that a catastrophic event may have delivered the final blow. Archaeological evidence points to a major earthquake in the 8th century CE, a violent tremor that may have shaken the Nile Delta. Such an event could have destabilized Thonis' already fragile foundations, leading to rapid flooding and the city's final submersion. Geological research suggests that seismic activity was not uncommon in the region during this period, and a powerful earthquake would have triggered landslides and shifts in the delta's sediment, overwhelming the weakened city. For a city already battling the forces of subsidence, a large earthquake may have unleashed an unstoppable collapse. In a matter of hours or days, Thonis may have experienced an event that plunged entire sections underwater, burying it in the sands of Abu Qir Bay. Imagine seeing your city slowly sink beneath the water year after year, despite every effort to hold back the waves. Intriguingly, some archaeological evidence suggests that the people of Thonis were aware of growing risks. Excavations have revealed reinforced foundations in certain areas, hinting that residents had tried to stabilize their structures against the encroaching waters. These efforts tell a story of resilience and determination as the inhabitants of Thonis fought to save their city. Yet nature ultimately overpowered them, and Thonis slipped into the bay, leaving behind little but mystery. Thonis' end is a somber reminder of nature's power and the limits of human ingenuity. Whether the final collapse was sudden or a last, drawn-out struggle, the disappearance of Thonis adds a haunting chapter to the legacy of a city that once stood proudly at the heart of Egypt's ancient world. Could Thonis' residents have known their city was living on borrowed time? What do you think? The rediscovery of Thonis has transformed our understanding of ancient Egypt's connections to the broader Mediterranean world, revealing the city's unique role as a gateway between civilizations. Thonis served as a vital link between Egypt and other cultures, and its preserved ruins highlight Egypt's influence and interconnectivity with the Mediterranean. The city's underwater remnants provide a unique view into the rich cultural exchanges, religious practices, and bustling economy that once characterized Thonis. The excavation of Thonis is far from complete. Each dive reveals more about the city's intricate layout, with newly discovered structures, artifacts, and inscriptions adding depth to our picture of Thonis as a place where diverse communities converged. Modern archaeological techniques, including 3D mapping, remote sensing, and advanced underwater scanning are enabling researchers to uncover deeper layers of the city and even map its original streets and buildings with greater precision than ever before. These advanced methods are revealing hidden relics and structures that were buried even deeper beneath the sea floor, suggesting that Thonis still has many secrets to offer. Thonis has become an emblem of underwater archaeology, inspiring interest and research in other submerged sites worldwide. The city's unique preservation under layers of sediment has kept it remarkably intact, offering a nearly unmatched archaeological record. Each new find in Thonis not only brings fresh insights into this once thriving port, but also expands our knowledge of ancient Egypt's cultural reach. The legacy of Thonis extends beyond the artifacts. It's a story of resilience, mystery, and human ambition in the face of nature's challenges. As Thonis continues to emerge from the depths, it invites us to reflect on the legacy of ancient civilizations and the ongoing quest to uncover history's hidden chapters. With each discovery, Thonis proves that even legends can hold remarkable truths, waiting to be uncovered one piece at a time. And now, here's the fun fact we promised at the start. Some historians speculate that Thonis's dramatic story of wealth and sudden submersion might have contributed to the Atlantis legend, a story shared across cultures of a city lost to the waves. With its dramatic submersion, strategic role, and rich cultural blend, Thonis has all the elements of a fabled lost city. The ancient Greeks and Egyptians had stories of cities vanishing due to natural disasters, and it's fascinating to wonder whether the story of Thonis contributed to these enduring tales. Thank you for joining us on this journey to the sunken world of Thonis. If today's exploration intrigued you, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to Armchair Archaeology for more deep dives into history's hidden wonders. Hit the notification bell to be the first to uncover our latest discoveries. We'd love to hear from you. What other lost cities or ancient civilizations should we explore next? Let us know in the comments below. Until our next journey, keep exploring, keep questioning, and let the mysteries of the past inspire today's curiosity.